Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured, piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage, the which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss our toil shall strive to mend.
Gregory, oh my word, will not carry culls.
No, for then we should be colliers.
I mean, and we being collar will draw.
Aye, while you live, draw out your neck out the collar.
I strike quickly being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
The dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away.
The dog of that house shall move me to stand. I'll take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's.
That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
True. And therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall.
The quarrel is between our masters and us, their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I'll be cruel to the maids and cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids.
Aye, the heads of the maids? Or their maiden heads? Take in what sense thou wilt.
They must take in sense that feel it.
Me they shall feel while I'm able to stand. And 'tis known, I'm pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hadst been poor John. Draw thy tool. Here comes two of the house of Montagues.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I'll back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run away?
Me not.
No, marry, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I'll bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law on our side if I say eh?
No.
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
If you do, sir, I'm for you. I serve a man as good as you.
No better?
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes my master's kinsman.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw. If you be men. Gregory, remember thy slashing blow.
Heart fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do.
What? Art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio. Look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me.
What? drawn and talk of peace. I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward. Come,
Put thy
come
sword.
now.
Come at me, you damn villain!
You
Put
come.
thy sword.
Noise is
Come,
this?
sir.
Give me my long sword. Ho!
Your crutch, why call you for a sword? What goes on here?
My sword, I say. Old Montague is coming. Flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Thou villain, Capulet!
Venus! Unless neighbour stain steel, will they not hear what ho, you men, you beasts, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins? On pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred by airy word, by thee, old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grey beseeming ornaments to wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If you ever disturb our streets again, your life shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart. Away! You, Capulet, shall go along with me. And Montague, come you this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this case. To Old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Good morrow, cousin.
Oh, is the day so young?
But news struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long.
What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that, which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Of love?
Out of her favour where I am in love.
Alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what a fray was here. Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh brawling love, or loving hate, oh anything of nothing first create, oh heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love feel I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cuz, I rather weep.
Oh, good heart, at what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Grief of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate, to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Oh, love is a smoke raised with the fume of sighs being purged, fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with lovers' tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my cuz.
Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
Oh, tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo, he is some other where.
Tell me in sadness, who is that you love?
Oh, what shall I groan and tell thee?
Groan? Why no, but sadly tell me who.
Oh, bid a sick man in sadness make his will? A word ill-urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aimed so near when I supposed you loved.
Ah, right good markman, and she's fair, I love.
A fair right mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit.
Oh, well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow, she hath Dian's wit. And in strong proof of chastity, well armed, from love's weak childish bow, she lives unharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor by the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saints seducing gold. Oh, she is rich, in beauty only poor, that when she dies, with beauty dies her store.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste?
Well, she hath. And in that sparring makes huge waste, for beauty starred with her severity cuts beauty off from all posterity. Oh, she is too fair, too wise, wisely, too fair to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties.
Oh, 'tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more. These happy masks that kiss fair lady's brow, being black, put us in mind they hide the fair. She that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasure of their eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honourable reckoning are you both, and a pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying over what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her right to be a bride.
Younger than she, a happy mother's maid?
Yes, and too soon marred are those so early made. Yeah. The earth hath swallowed all my hopes but she. She is the hopeful lady of my earth, but woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part. And she agree, within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest such as I love, and you, among the store, one more, most welcome, makes my number more. Or at my poor house look to behold this night earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well-apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads. Even such delight among fresh female buds shall you this night inherit at my house. Hear all see, and like her most whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many, mine being one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come, go with me. Go, Cyril, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome, on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, and the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nest. But I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. I must to the learned, in good time.
Tut, man. One fire burns out, another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be holp by backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another's languish. Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Your plaint and leaf is excellent for that.
For what, I pray thee?
For your broken shin.
Why, Romeo, art thou mad?
Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and got in, good fellow.
God be good een. I pray, sir, can you read?
Aye, mine own fortune is my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book, but I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
Nay, say honestly, rest you merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, Countny Anselm and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitravio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and brothers, my fair niece Rosaline, Livia, Signor Valentino and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena. Fair assembly, whither should thou come?
Up.
Whither?
To supper, to our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
Now I'll tell you without asking, my master is the great, rich Capulet. And if you not be of the house of Montagues, I pray come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
At this same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so lovest, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I shall make thee think thy swan a crow.
Oh, when the devout religion of mine eye maintains such falsehood, then turn tears to fires. And these who often drowned could never die, transparent heretics be burnt for liars. One fairer than my love? The all-seeing sun ne'er saw her match since first the world begun.
Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by her, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales, let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid that I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now shows best.
I'll go along. No such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendour of mine own.
Act 1, Scene 3 and 4, the Capulet's house and a street.
Where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid. Where's this girl? What Juliet?
How now? Who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I'm here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give me leave a while. We must talk in secret. Oh, nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou hearest our counsel. Thou knowest my daughters of a pretty age.
Oh, faith, I can tell her age unto an hour. Thou wast the prettiest babe that ever I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once I have my wish.
Marry. That marry is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honour that I dream not of.
An honour? Well, I not thine only nurse, I would say thou had sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother, much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady? Why such a man as all the world? Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Oh, nay, he's a flower, in faith a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris's face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one lends another content. And what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him, only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride for fair without the fair within to hide. That book in many eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps, locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him making yourself no less.
Oh, no less, nay bigger. Women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move, but no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
What, shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we be on without an apology?
The date is out of such prolixity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf bearing a Tartar's painted bow of lath, scaring the ladies like a crow keeper, nor no without Book Prologue faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance, but let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Hey, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I. Believe me, you have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground. I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above the common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound. I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. The love's heavy burden do I sink.
Aye, and to sink in it, you should burden love. Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat down love. Alright? Give me a case to put my visage in. A visor. What care I, what curious eye doth quote deformities? Here are the beetle brow shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs.
I fear too early. For my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin this fearful date. With this night's revels and expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail on, lusty gentlemen.
Strike, drum.
Act 1, Scene 5, a hall in Capulet's house.
Hello.
Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will have a bout with you. Aha, my mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance, huh? She that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, hath corns. Am I come near ye now? Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. Oh, 'tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. A hall, give room, and foot it, girls.
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight? Well, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady o'er her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This, by his voice, should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. There's the slave come hither, covered with an antique face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity. Now by the stock and honour of my kin, to strike him dead I hold it not a sin. Lord Capulet.
Why? How now, kinsman? Wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Content thee, gentle coz, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman. And to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all the town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a fair presence and put off these frowns and ill-beseeming semblance for a feast.
It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him.
he shall be endured. What, Goodman boy? I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You'll set cock-a-hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to. Go to. Oh, you are a saucy boy. It's so indeed. This trick may chance to scathe you. I know what. You must contrary me. Mary, 'tis time. Well said, my heart. You are a princox. Go, be quiet, or more light. Ha! For shame, I'll make you quiet. What? Cheerly, my hearts.
Patience perforce with wilful choler meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitter gall.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too?
I, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, what my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips, by yours, my sin is purged.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took.
Oh, sin from thy lips, oh trespass sweetly urged. Give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Mary, bachelor. Her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise, and a virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Is she a Capulet? Dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Away, begone. The sport is at the best.
Aye, so I fear. The more is my unrest.
Come hither, nurse. What is yond gentleman?
The son and heir of old Tiberio.
What's he that is now going out the door?
Mary, that I think be young Petruchio.
What's he that follows there that would not dance?
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. But too early seen, unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's
this? A rhyme I learned, even now, of one I danced withal.
Anon, come, let's away, the strangers all are gone.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth. Find thy centre out.
Caught him in the morning.
Romeo!
Around his ankles.
Cousin Romeo!
Oh, he is wise. And on my eye, hath stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leapt this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Humours! Madman! Bash on! Lover! Appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Speak but one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry but I me, pronounce but love and dove. Speak to my gossip Venus one fair word, one nickname for her purblind son and heir. Young Adam Cupid, he that shot so trim when King Capulet loved the beggar maid. Oh, he heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not, the ape is dead, and I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead, her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh. And the demonesses that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him.
This cannot anger him. 'Twould anger him to raise a spirit in his mistress's circle of some strange nature, letting it there stand till she had laid it and conjured it down. There was some spite. My invocation is fair and honest, and in his mistress's name I conjure only but to raise him up.
Come, he hath hid himself among these trees to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is this love, and best befits the dark.
Well, if love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now he will sit under a medlar tree and wish his mistress were that kind of fruit, as maids call medlars when they laugh alone. Romeo, that she were, oh, that she were an open, etc. Thou a poppering pear. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
He jest at scars that never felt a wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon. He was already sick and pale with grief that thou her made up far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vistal ivory is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, and they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See, she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I may touch that cheek.
Ay me!
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head as the winged messenger of heaven, under the white, upturned, wondering eyes of mortals who fall back and gaze of him when he bestrides the lazing, pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo! Romeo! Wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, to be some other name. What's in the name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I will never be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus bescreened in night so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art. If any of my kinsmen find thee here.
Love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony womits cannot hold love out. And what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as the vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou know'st the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush but paint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment, dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say I, and I will take thy word, yet if thou swearst, thou mayst prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I'm too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my haviour light, but trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst, ere I was ware my true love's passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
No, by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or if thou wilt, swear by my gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear. Although I joy of thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. As sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again, and yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse! Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I'll come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I am afeard, being a knight, this is all but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortune devotions at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come, anon! But if thou mean'st not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by, I come! To cease thy suit, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Romeo! Psst. Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else would I tear the cave where echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers sound, tongues by night like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo!
My dear?
At what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
At the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forget. Forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird who lets it hop a little from her hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with the silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
Oh, would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were asleep in peace, so sweet to rest. I to my ghostly father's cell, his help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
The grey-eyed morn smiles on frowning nights, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and flecked darkness with drunkard reels from forth day's paths and Titan's fiery wheels. Now ere the sun has advanced his burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must fill up this Orsia's cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. The earth that nature's woman in her tomb, what is bearing grave that is her womb? And from womb, children of diverse kinds, we suckling at her natured bosom find for many virtues excellent, none but for some and yet all different. How mickle is the powerful grace that lies in herbs, plants, stones, and all their true qualities. For naught so vile that on earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Nor aught so good, but strained from that fair use, revolts from true birth, stumbling on of use. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied, and vice sometimes by action dignified. And within the infant rind of this small flower, poison hath residence and medicine power, for this being smelt with that part cheers each part, being tasted slays all senses with the heart. Two such opposed kings encamp them still, in man as well as herbs and grace and rude will. And where the worser is predominant, full the soon cankered death eats up the plant.
Good morrow, father.
Benedicte! What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth will unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs. There golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused by some distemperature. Or if it not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo has not been in bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin. Wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father, no. I forgot that name, and that name's woe.
Ah, that's my good son. Where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee, ere thou ask at me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me. That's by me wounded. Both our remedies within thy help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession brings but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine. And all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consents to marry us today.
Holy St. Francis! What a change is here! Is Rosaline, whom thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love lies then not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deal of brine hast thou washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline? How much salt water thrown away in waste to season love, that of it doth taste? The sun not yet thy sighs from heaven clears, thy old groans ring yet in my ancient ears. Lo, there upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that thou hast not oft washed yet. If ever thou wast thyself and these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline. And art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then, women may fall where there's no strength in men.
Thou chidest me oft for loving Rosaline.
Well, for doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
And baddest me bury love.
Well, not in a grave to lay one in, the other out to have.
I pray thee chide not, for she who I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
She knew well that thy life did read by rote, but could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect, I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancour to pure love.
Oh, let us hence! I stand on sudden haste.
Oh, wisely and slow. They stumble that run fast.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home last night?
Well, not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
That same pale-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman of old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge? Oh, my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that could write my answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letters, master. How he dares, being dead.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead. Stabbed with a white wench's black eye, shot through the ear with a love song, the very pit of his heart, cleft with the blind bowboy's butt shaft. Is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why? What is Tybalt?
More than Prince of Cats, I can tell you. Oh, he is the courageous captain of compliments. He fights you at prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. Rests me his minim, 1, 2, and a third in your bosom. The very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a gentleman of the very first house, of the first and second calls. The immortal passado, the punto reverso, the hey!
Oh, here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring. Flesh, flesh, how thou art fishified. Now he is for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in. Lady, Laura to his lady was but a kitchen wench, marry, She had better love to berhyme her. Dido and Dowdy, Cleopatra, Gypsy, Helen and Hero, hidings and harlots, Thisbe a grey eye or so. But not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's the French salutation for your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir. The slip, can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio, thy business was great, and in such a case as mine, man may stray courtesy.
That's as much as to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hams.
Meaning to curtsy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous exposition.
Why is this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable. Now thou art Romeo. Now art thou what thou art. By art as well as by nature, for this drivelling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
Oh, stop there. Stop there.
Well, thou desirest me to stop in my tail against the hair.
How wouldst else have made thy tail large?
Oh, thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was about to come to the whole depth of my tale, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer.
Here's goodly gear.
Thought ye good morrow, gentlemen.
Good ye den, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good den?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the bawdy hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you! What a man are you!
One gentlewoman that doth have made himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said, for himself to mar, quotha. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
You say well.
Yea, is the worst well? Very well. Took, in faith, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
Aboard! Aboard, so ho!
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie that is something stale and hoar ere it be sped. Romeo, will you come to your father's? We'll to dinner thither.
I will follow.
Farewell, ancient lady.
Oh.
Lady.
Now, afore God, I'm so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word. And as I told you, my young lady bade me inquire you. What she bade me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell ye, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behaviour, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Oh, good heart. And in faith, I will tell her as much, Lord. No, Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Dost thou not mark me?
Well, I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon. There she shall at Friar Lawrence's cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
Oh, no, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell. Be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell. Commend me to thy mistress.
Now, God in heaven bless thee. Oh, hark you, sir.
What sayest thou, my dear nurse?
Is your man secret? Did you never hear say, two may keep counsel, putting one away?
I warrant thee, my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Lord, oh Lord, when she was just a little prating thing. Oh, there is an nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lie knife aboard, but she, good soul, had as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the proper man, but I'll warrant you, when I say so, she looks as pale as any clout in the versal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo begin both with a letter?
Aye, nurse, what of that? Both with an R.
Ah, Mocker. That's the dog's name. R is for... No, I know it begins with some other letter. Oh, and she has the prettiest sententious of it, of you and Rosemary, that it would do you good to hear it.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times.
Act 2.
The clock struck 9 by in half an hour she promised to return. Perhaps she can. Oh, that cannot be so. Oh, she is lame. Oh. Nurse? Oh, she is lame. Love heralds should be thoughts which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over luring hills. Therefore do nimble pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind-swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this long, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many fain as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, pale as lead. Oh God, she comes. Oh honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Now, good, sweet nurse. Oh, Lord, why look'st thou sad? Though news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
Oh, I am a weary, give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I had.
I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak. Good, good nurse. Speak!
Jesu, what haste! Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is it good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's, and for a hand, and a foot, and a body, though they be not to be talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
Oh, no, but all this I did know before. What said marriage? What of that?
Oh Lord, how my head aches. Oh, what a head have I. It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces.
In faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Wait, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Marry, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward, do your messages yourself.
Here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church. I must another way, to fetch a ladder, by the which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. Oh, I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, I'll to dinner, hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune, honest nurse, farewell.
So smile the heaven upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen. Amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death, do what he dare. It is enough I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die, like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is lonesome in its own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore, love moderately, long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady. Oh, so light of foot! Will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamer that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall. So light is vanity.
Good even to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
As much to him, else is his thanks too much.
Ah, Juliet, the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbour air. Let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth, but my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come, come with me, and we will make short work, for by your leaves you shall not stay, till Holy Church incorporate two in one.
Pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not scape a brawl. For now these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps his sword upon the table and said, God send me no need of thee. And by the operation of the second cup, draws it on the draw when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, thou art as hot as Jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody as soon moody to be moved.
And what two?
Nay, and there were two such. Why should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou wilt quarrel with the man that hath a hair more, a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with the man for cracking nuts, having no other reason, but because thou hast hazel eyes. What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten and addle as a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened a dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter? With another for tying his new shoes with old ribbon? Yet thou tutors me on quarrelling.
And I was so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man should buy the fee sample of my life for an hour and a quarter.
The fee simple. Oh, simple.
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I cannot.
Gentlemen, good den, a word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us, couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Consort? What dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords? Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Zounds, consort!
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, let them gaze. I would not budge for no man's pleasure,
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Marry, go before the field, he'll be your follower. Your worship, in that sense, may call him man.
Romeo, the hate I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore farewell, I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love, and so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied.
Oh, calm, dishonourable, vile submission. Alastacata carries it away. Tybalt, you a rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives. That I mean to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pitcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears, ere it be out.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado!
Oh, who is the rat
Draw,
catcher?
Benvolio,
Who is the
beat
king of
down
cats?
their
Come now.
weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage.
I'm hurt. Plague on both your houses, I am sped. Is he gone, and hath nothing?
What, art thou hurt?
A scratch. Marry, 'tis enough.
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
'Tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough, 'twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered. I warrant for this world. A plague on both your houses! Zounds! A dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat to scratch a man to death, a braggart! A rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm!
I thought it all for the best.
I mean to some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague on both your houses! Oh, they have made worms weed of me. I have it, and soundly too, to your houses.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal wound on my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt that an hour hath been my kinsman. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Oh, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead. That gallant spirit hath espied the clouds, which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe, others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive, in triumph, and Mercutio slain. Away to heaven, respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again that late thou givest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou, or I, or both must go with him.
Thou, wretched boy, that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence.
Oh, this shall determine that.
Romeo, away, be gone. The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death. If thou art taken, hence be gone. Away!
Oh, I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
It's of a farmer in our town. He was a man of high renown. He had one daughter, a beauty bright, and in every place was her heart's delight. Many a young man a-courting came, but none of them could her favour gain, till a young man came of low degree, came underhanded, and she fancied he. Soon as her father came this to hear, he separated her from her dear. For fourscore miles this maid was sent to her uncle's home for his discontent. One night she lay in her bedroom. Her lover appeared from out the gloom. Rise, rise, my love, and come with me, and break these chains and set me free. This maid arose and got up behind, and he rode as fast as the very wind. They rode on for an hour or more, till he cried, my darling, my head feels sore. She had a handkerchief of the Holland kind, and around his head she did him bind. She kissed his pale lips, and thus did say, my dearest dear, you're as cold as clay. He rode her up to her father's door, and saw her father standing on the floor. Oh, father dear, did you send for me by such a kind messenger? Kind sir, said she. Well, he wrung his hands and he tore his hair, much like a man in deep despair. He tore the hair all from his head, crying, daughter dear, your young man is dead. Early next morn this maid arose, and straight away to the churchyard goes. She rose the corpse that was 9 days dead, and found her handkerchief bound around his head. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. He once was a a true love of mine? Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. He once was a true love of Cold blows the wind over my true love. Soft are the drops of rain. I never had but one true love. In greenwood he lies slain. I do as much for my true love as any younger may. I'll sit and mourn all on his grave for 12 months and a day. The 12 months and a day being done, the dead began to speak. Who sits a-weeping on my grave and will not let me sleep? 'Tis I, my love, sits on your grave and will not let you sleep. I crave one kiss of your clay cold lips, and that is all I seek. You crave one kiss of my clay cold lips. My breath smells earthy strong, and if you have one kiss of me, your time will not be long. It was down in yonder garden green, love, where we used to walk, the fairest flower that e'er I'd seen has withered to a stalk. The stalk has withered dry, true love, so shall our love decay. So make yourself content, my love, till death calls you away.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms untalked of and unseen. Lovers concede to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood bating in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love, grown bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night! Come, Romeo! Come, thou day in night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night. Come, loving black-browed night. Give me my Romeo. And when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but have not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival, to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, well a day, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Alack the day, he's gone. He's killed, he's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, no, heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo! Whoever would have thought it? Romeo!
What devil art thou that thus torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou, but I, and that bare thou eye, shall poison more than the death-darting eye of a cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye, or those eyes shut that make the answer I. If he be slain, say I. Or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark here on his manly breast. A piteous course, a bloody, piteous course. Pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I was wounded at the sight.
Oh, break my heart. Poor bankrupt, break at once. To prison, eyes. Ne'er look on liberty. Vile earth to earth resign, end motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier.
Oh, Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dear loved cousin and my dear lord, then dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom, for who is living if these two are gone?
Tybalt is gone and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh, God. Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. Alas the day, it did.
Oh, serpent heart, hid with a flowering face. Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolvish ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seemst, a damned saint, an honourable villain. Oh, nature, what hadst thou to do in hell when thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend in moral paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace!
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all naught, all dissemblers. Oh, where's my man? Give me some aqua vitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit. For 'tis a throne where honour may be crowned, sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him!
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, my poor lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours' wife, have mangled it? Wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you, mistaking, offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty's deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished. That one word, banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there. Oh, if sour woe delights in fellowship, and needly will be ranked with other griefs, why followed not when she said, Tybalt's dead, thy father, or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentations might have moved, but with the rearward following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. To speak that word, his father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corpse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when there's a dry for Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords. Poor ropes, you are beguiled, both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, but I, a maid, die maiden widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse, I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maiden head.
Hie to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is hid at Lawrence cell.
I will find him, give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamoured of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity.
Father, what news? What is thy prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet know not?
Too familiar is my dear son with such sour company. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
Oh, what less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment.
Ha! Banishment! Be merciful and say death, for exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Hence from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Then banished is death mistermed. Calling death banishment, thou cuttest off my head with a golden axe and smile upon the stroke that murders me.
Oh, deadly sin, a rude unthankfulness. Thy fault our law calls death. But the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law and turned the black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honourable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessings from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush as thinking their own kiss is sin. but Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but from this I must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Hast thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death? Thou ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me. Banished! Oh, Friar, the damned use that word in hell. Howlings attended, how hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend profess to mangle me with that word? Banish it.
Arise. One knocks, good Romeo. Hide thyself.
Not I, unless the breath of heartsick groans mist-like enfold me from the search of eyes.
Hark! How they knock. Who's there? Romeo, arise. Wilt thou be taken? Stay a while. Stand up. Run to my study. By and by, God's will. What simpleness is this? I come. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in, and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome then.
Oh, holy friar. Oh, tell me, holy friar, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There, on the ground, with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress' case. Just in her case. Oh, woeful sympathy. Piteous predicament. Even so lies she, blubbering and weeping and blubbering. Stand up. Stand up. Stand, and you be a man for Juliet's sake, for her sake. Rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an O?
Nurse.
Oh, sir. Oh, death's the end of all.
Spakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Dost not think of me an old murderer now I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood removed but little from her own? Where is she? And how doth she? And what says my concealed lady of our cancelled love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
Oh, as if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did murder her, as that knight's cursed name murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me, that I may sack the hateful mansion.
Hold thy desperate hand. Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art, but thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonableness of a fury of a beast, unseemingly woman in a seeming man, or ill beseeming beast in seeming both. Thou hast amazed me. By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Why, wilt thou slay thyself? And stay thy lady too that lives in thee? By doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railest thou on thy birth, and heaven and earth, since birth and heaven and earth, all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once wouldst lose? Fie, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit, which, like a usurer, aboundest in all, and usest none in that true use indeed which should bedeck thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Thy noble shape is but a form of wax, digressing from the valour of a man, thy dear love sworn with hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. Thy wit, that ornament to shape, and love misshapen in the conduct of them both, like powder in a skitless soldier's flask, is set afire by thine own ignorance, and thou disremembered in thine own defence. What? Rouse thee, man! Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. But art thou happy? Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy too, and the law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns it exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings light upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array, but, like a misbehaven and sullen wench, thou poutest upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love. As was decreed, ascend to her chamber, and hence and comfort her. But look, thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we can find a time to blazon your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 20,000 times more joy than thou wast sent forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse. Commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh Lord, I could have stayed here all night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is. My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide.
High you make haste, for it grows very late.
How well my comfort is revived.
Go hence, good knight. And here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day, disguised from hence, sojourn to Mantua. I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand. 'Tis late. Farewell. Good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out to me, it were a grief so brief it part thee. Farewell.
Things have fallen out so unluckily, sir, that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late. She'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company, I would have been abed an hour ago.
These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will. And know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son, Paris's love, and bid her mark you me on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday. Well, Wednesday is too soon. A Thursday let it be. A Thursday tell her she shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep no great ado. A friend or two, for hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman if we rebel much. Therefore, we'll have some half a dozen friends in their name. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get ye gone. A Thursday be it then. Go you, wife, to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord Paris. Light to my chamber, ho, afore me. It is so very, very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burned out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yon light is not daylight. I know it. Aye, it is some meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night a torchbearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet. Thou needst not be gone.
Let me be ta'en. Let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say, yon grey is not the morning's eye. 'Tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. Nor that is not the lark, whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Was so. How is my soul? Let's talk. It is not day.
It is. It is. Hie hence, be gone, away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Some say the lark and the loathed toad change eyes. Oh, now I would they had changed voices too. Since arm from arm that voice doth us affray, hunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. Oh, now be gone, more light and light it grows.
More light and light, the more dark and dark our woes.
Then window, let day in and let life out.
Farewell. Farewell.
Art thou gone so? Love, lord, husband, friend. I must hear from thee every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count I shall be much in years, ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Oh, think'st thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not. And all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh God, I have an ill divining soul. Methinks I see thee, now thou art below, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou lookst pale.
And trust me, love, in my eyes, so do you. Dry sorrows drink our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
Oh, Fortune, Fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, Fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
Oh, daughter, are you up?
Who is the cause? Is it my lady mother? Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you shall weep for.
Feeling so the loss cannot choose, but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death, as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo.
Villain, and he may be many miles asunder. God pardon him. I do with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Is my poor heart for a kinsman vexed? Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo should, upon receipt thereof, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named and cannot come to him, to wreak the love I bore my cousin upon his body that slaughtered him.
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now, I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they? I beseech your ladyship.
Well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who, to put thee from thy heaviness, had sorted out a sudden day of joy, thou that not expected it, and I looked not for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste. that I must be wed ere he that should be my husband comes to woo? I pray you, tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet, and when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hands.
When the sun sets, the air doth drizzle dew. But for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains downright. How now, a conduit girl? What, still in tears, evermore showering? In one little body thou counterfeitest a bark, a sea, a wind. For still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. The bark thy body is, sailing in this salt flood. The winds thy sighs, who raging with thy tears, and they with them, without a sudden calm, will overset thy tempest-tossed body. How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft, take me with you, wife. How? Will she none? Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Doth she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful, even for hate that is meant love.
How now, chop lodge, what is this? Proud, and I thank you not, and yet not proud. Mistress minion, you thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints 'gainst Thursday next to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrion. Out, you baggage, you tallow face.
Fie, what are you, mad?
Good father, I beseech you, on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
God's bread makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair domain, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched, puling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll wed not, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on it, lay hand on heart, advise. And you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. And you be not, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets, for by my soul I'll never acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it, bethink you, I'll not be forsworn.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week. Or if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh, God! Nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth unless that husband sended me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me. Alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. What sayst thou? Hast thou not a word of joy, some comfort? Nurse?
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing. But he dares never come back to challenge you, or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands it now, it doth. I think it best you married with the Count. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish clout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead, or were as good he were, as living here, and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
While thou hast comforted me marvellous much. Go in and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father, to Lawrence cell to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry, I will, and this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation. Oh, most wicked fiend! Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with above compares so many thousand times? Go, counsellor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
On Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
Ah, and you say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is the course. I like it not.
Moderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love. For Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrows so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage, to stop the inundation of her tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. Now, do you understand the reason for this haste?
I would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, here comes the lady towards my cell.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be your wife.
That may be love on Thursday next.
What must be shall be.
Well, that's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
I will confess to you that I love him.
So will ye, I am sure, that you love me.
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter. Now, my lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield us should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early, I will rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me, past hope, past cure, past help.
Ah, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prolong it, on Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. God joined my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands, and ere this hand, by Romeo sealed, shall be the label to another deed, or my true heart, with treacherous revolt turned to another, this shall slay them both. Therefore, out of thy long experience time, give me some present counsel, or behold, twixt my extremes and me, this bloody knife shall play the umpire, arbitrating that which the commission of thy years and art could to no issue of true honour bring. Be not so long to speak, I long to die. If what thou speaks, speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter. I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as that is desperate which we could prevent. If rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then it is likely that thou wilt undertake a thing like death, to chide away this shame. Thou copest with death himself to scrape from it, and if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Oh, bid me leap, rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of yonder tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are, chain me with roaring bears, shut me nightly in a charnel house, all covered quite with dead men's rattling bones, with reeky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me go into a new-made grave and hide me with a dead man in his shroud, things that, to hear them told, have made me tremble, and I will do it without fear or doubt, to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold, then. Go home. Be merry. Give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Let not the nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this vial, being then in bed, and this distilled liquor drink thou oft, when presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humour, for no pulse shall keep this native progress, but secrece. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The roses of thy lips and cheeks shall fade to paly ashes. Thy eyes' windows fall like death, and when he shuts up the day of life, each part deprived of supple government shall, stiff and stark and cold, appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as if from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, thou art dead. Then, as the manner of the country is, in thy best robes uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shall awake, shall Romeo, by my letters, know of our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua, and this shall free thee from the present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate thy valour in acting it.
Gimme, oh, tell me not of fear.
Hold, get thee gone. Be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua with letters to thy lord.
Lord, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
What, is my daughter gone to Friar Lawrence?
Aye, forsooth.
Well, he may chance to do some good on her. A peevish, self-willed harlotry it is.
We'll see where she comes from shrift with merry look.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been gadding?
Where I have made to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you and your behests, and am enjoined by holy Lawrence to fall prostrate here and beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforward I am ever ruled by you.
Send for the county. Go tell him of this. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning.
I met the youthful lord, Lawrence Sell, and gave him what becomed love I might, not stepping over the bounds of modesty.
And all things shall be well, I warrant thee. Wife, go thou to Juliet, help to deck up her. I'll not to bed tonight, let me alone. I'll play the housewife for this once. Oh, what ho, they're all forth. Well, I will walk myself to County Paris to prepare him up against tomorrow. All my heart is wondrous light, since this same wayward girl is so reclaimed.
Aye, those attires are best. But, gentle nurse, I pray thee, leave me to myself tonight, for I have need of many orisons to move the heavens to smile upon my state, which, well thou knowest, is cross and full of sin.
What, are you busy, ho? Need my help?
No, madam, we have culled such necessaries as are behoveful for our state tomorrow, so please you, let me now be left alone, and let the nurse this night sit up with you, for I am sure you have your hands full all in this so sudden business.
Good night. Get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast need.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. Oh, I have a faint, cold fear thrill through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call them back again to comfort me. Nurse! What should she do here? My dismal scene I needs must act alone. Come, vile. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. If it be a poison which the friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonoured, because he married me before to Romeo. I fear it is, and yet methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried, a holy man. How if, when I'm laid to the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault, to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in, and there die, strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, it is not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of the place, as in a vault, an ancient receptacle, where for these many hundred years the bones of all my buried ancestors are packed, where bloody Tybalt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in his shroud, where, as they say, at some hours in the night spirits resort. Alack, it is not like that. I, so early waking, what with loathsome smells and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals, hearing them, run mad. Oh, if I wake, shall I not be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage, with some great kinsman's bones, as with a club, dash my desperate brains out? Oh, look. Methinks I see my cousin's ghost, seeking out Romeo that did spit his body upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay! Romeo, I come, this I drink to thee!
My lady! Fie, you slug a bed! My love, I say, madam! Sweetheart! My bride! What, not a word? You take your penny's worth now. Sleep for a week, for the next night, I warrant. The county Paris hath set up his rest, that you shall rest but little. God forgive me. Marry, and our men, how sound asleep is she! I must needs wake her. Madam! 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 Aye, let the county take you in your bed. He'll fright you up in faith, will it not be? What dress? And in your clothes? And down again? I must needs wake you. Lady! Lady! Lady? Oh. Alas. Alas! Help! Help! My lady's dead! Oh, well a day that ever I was born! Sir Capulet, ho! Oh, my lord, my lady!
What noise is here?
Oh, lamentable day!
What is the matter?
Look, look! Oh, heavy day!
Oh, me! Oh, me! My child, my only life! Revive! Look up! Look up! Or I will die with thee! Help! Help! Call help!
For shame, bring Juliet forth. Her lord is come.
She's dead, deceased. She's dead. Alack the day.
Alack the day. She's dead. She's dead.
Let me see her. Out? Alas. She is cold. Her blood is settled, and her joints are stiff. Oh, life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower in all the field.
Oh, lamentable day.
Oh, woeful time!
Death that hath ta'en her hence to make me wail. It ties up my tongue and will not let me speak.
Come, is the bride ready to go to church?
Ready to go, but never to return. Oh, son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was, deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law. Death is my heir. My daughter he hath wedded. I will die and leave him all. Life, living, all is death's.
Would long to see this morning's face. Doth it give me such a sight as this?
Cursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day, most miserable hour that e'er time saw in lasting labour of his pilgrimage. But one poor and loving child, but one thing to rejoice and solace in, and cruel death hath catched it from my sight.
Oh, woe. Oh, woeful, woeful, woeful day. Most lamentable day, most woeful day that ever I did yet behold. Oh, day. Oh, day. Oh, day. Oh, hateful day. Never was seen so black a day as this. Oh, woeful day. Oh, woeful day.
Divorced, wronged, spitted, slain, most detestable death by these beguiled, by cruelty quite overthrown. Oh, love. Oh, life, not life, but love in death.
Despised, distressed, hated, martyred, killed, oh, uncomfortable time. Why camest thou now to murder our solemnity? Oh, child, my soul and not my child. Dead art thou, alack, my child is dead. And with my child, my joys are buried.
Peace. Oh, for shame. Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, and all the better is it for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion, for 'twas your heaven she should be advanced. And weep ye now, seeing she is advanced, above the clouds as heaven itself. Oh, in this love, you love your child so ill, that you run mad, seeing that she is well. She's not well married that lives long, and she's best married that dies married young. Dry up your tears. Stick your rosemary on this fair course, and as the custom is, in all her best array bear her to church. For though fond nature bids us and lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment. Sir, you go in, and madam, you go with him. And go, Sir Paris, every one prepare to follow this fair course unto her grave. The heavens do lour upon you for some ill. Move them no more by crossing their high will.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's Lord sits lightly in his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thought. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think, and breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Oh, me. How sweet is love itself possessed, but when love's shadows are so rich in joy. News from Verona. How now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet, that I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well?
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it for my office, sir.
Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you, sir. Have patience. Your looks are pale and wild. I do import you some misadventure.
Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the... Hast thou noticed to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter, get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see, for the means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. Come, cordial. Not poison, go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee.
Holy Franciscan friar, brother Ho.
This should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or, if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order, to associate me here in the city visiting the sick. And finding him, the searchers of the town, suspecting we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and would not let us far. So that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bear my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee. So fearful were they of infection.
Oh, unhappy fortune. By my brotherhood, the letter was not nice, but full of charge. Of dear import, and the neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go thee hence. Get me an iron crow and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it thee.
Now I must to the monument alone. Within 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me that Romeo hath no notice of these accidents, but I'll write again to Mantua and keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Poor living corse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh, woe, thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet nor water nightly I will dew, or wanting that with tears distilled by moans. The obsequies that I for thee will keep, nightly shall be to strew thy grave and weep. I hear a noise approaching. Something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight, to cross my obsequies and true love's right? What, with a torch? Muffle me, night, a while. That is the banished haughty Montague, that murdered my love's cousin, and which grief it is supposed the fair creature died. And here it comes through some villainous shame. To dead bodies I will apprehend him.
Thou detestable Moor, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth, thus I enforce thy jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
Stop! Thy unshallowed toil, Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Commended villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey me and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. Think upon these gone, let them affright thee. I beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone. By heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I come armed against myself. Stay not, be gone, live, and hereafter say a madman's mercy bade thee run away.
Defy these conjurations. and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Oh, wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy!
I'm slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb. Lay me with Juliet.
In faith I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble County Paris. What said my man when my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so? Or did I dream it so? Or am I mad, hearing him talk of Juliet, to think it was so? Oh, give me thy hand, one writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave? Oh no, a lantern sought to the youth. For here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence of light. Death, thou lie here by a dead man's interred. How oft when men are at the point of death, have they been merry? Or do they keep as call a lightning before death? Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife. Death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favour can I do thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? Oh, for fear of that, I will stay with thee, and never from this place of dim night depart again. Here will I remain with words that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from the world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look at your last. Arms, take your last embrace, and lips, oh, youth, the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct. Come, unsavory guide, thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick weary bark. Here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss. I die.
Alack, what blood is this which stains the stony entrance of the sepulchre? What means these masterless and gory swords to lie discolored by this place of peace? Romeo. Oh, pale. Who else? Oh, Paris too. Oh, steeped in blood. Oh, what an unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable chance. Oh, the lady stirs.
Oh, comfortable friar. Where is my lord? I do remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where is my Romeo?
I hear some noise, lady, come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. Come away. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead. And Paris too. Come, I'll dispose of thee amongst the sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet. I dare not stay longer.
Go, get thee hence, for I will not away. What's here? A cup close to my true love's hand? Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. Oh, churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after? I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make me die with a restorative.
Lead! Boy! Where? Which way?
Yea, noise. Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger. This is thy sheath. There, rust, and let me die.
With it brings the sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished, for never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
And now, please give a big round of applause for the cast of Romeo and Juliet. Last but not least, let's give a big applause for the creative, technical, and production teams.
Hi, I'm Sasha Danswan and the director of today's show. Thank you for watching Romeo and Juliet, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we had fun making it. Stream Shakespeare will be continuing to present live stream stage readings of Shakespeare's work every Sunday. If you enjoyed Romeo and Juliet, don't miss next Sunday's play, The Winter's Tale, directed by Holly Champion, live streaming from 2 p.m. Sunday time. Don't forget to share and like this video and follow Stream Shakespeare on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and YouTube by going to www.streamshakespeare.com. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now and see you all next week.
Ooh.